Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the end of sprint V of victory. End of sprint victory demo. This is fantastic. So we've got 3 bits to show you today. I think they're going to be super fun. And I think we're starting with Casey.
Very cool. Okay. So we did a bunch of fun things this sprint. Let me share with you my my screen. It's always a production. Just we good?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have my query desktop app, and let's say someone sent me a file and I want to add a query. So before, well, whatever, because we had to do before. Now you can just drag the file. Let's make this a little bit more visible. You can drag the file over here to create a new data set. It brings you into this modal where you'll be able to rename some. So I'm not going to call this for right now. And then, create data set, drops me into the body, create data set. We did it. Woo! We did it. Am I going to keep going to stats?
Yeah.
All right, so one of the big projects that we had this sprint was to integrate calculating stats on columns in a data set so that it would just be easier for people to kind of understand what was going on with their data set, with their data. So we added that into the query backend. So there are command line tools that you can use to get stats, but we've also plumbed that into the app. And now if you click on, you see how these, this is courtesy of Chris, you see how these column headers are now clickable. If you click on one, details pop up here and you can get some fun stats about what's going on in each column, right? So
we did, and so you haven't done anything to get these stats. We just figured these out for you, right?
Yeah, did you want to talk a little about what the stats were? So yeah, explore that in your data sets.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yay.
Nice. That was a bunch of work.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, and I think some of the things that you just saw, Chris was work that Chris is doing that we've properly landed now. And so, Chris, do you want to demo for us some of the other stuff that we saw?
Sure. Okay, let me share my screen. Got me?
Yeah, got you.
Okay. Close Twitter. Okay. So first and foremost, we have the README component, which is a new component. So this accepts Markdown, and this is just using a React module that can do this Markdown editing. But it also has a nice little preview, but we're not rendering the preview client side. We're actually having query backend do the rendering. So if I click on this and say let's add a header 2 that says test header, and then hit preview. I'll see my test header, and I can continue with my bullets and keep previewing it. And if I commit, say add more to README. Let's see, my orange light should go away on my README. And if I look at history, I should be able to see a rendered view, or not a rendered view, but the Markdown view of the README. So I can go back into history. Sorry, I can go back to different commits, see what it was, which actually that was the commit README. So there it is. So that's my
Nice.
my README component. So this will now make sort of where metadata is not sufficient to really give you the big picture and let you write free-form descriptions of where this data came from and how to contribute, and all the nuances of the data, things that are hard to capture in structured metadata. We can sort of write these free-form READMEs, which I think will make our data set's much more shareable with other people. So that's a great development there. The other one I want to show you is pagination. So we've basically made some strides in a more responsive table view. So we were using a component before that was very complex and was adding individual React components for each cell and having to do lots of calculations. So what we've done here is actually relying on HTML tables to make this much more responsive. So I can scroll very quickly sideways. And what we're doing here is showing 50 rows at a time of these tabular data sets. So if I scroll down, I'm going to get 50 more rows. If I scroll down, we have a nice spinner, and this is continuous. So there's still some improvement here. We want to get the Y alignment to line up exactly, or even like make it so that it can be really smooth, continuous scrolling, so you don't even know that it's doing all these API calls behind the scenes. But this works both directions. So we kind of have 100 rows showing at a time. Then we go back up to the top. 201 was the top, and now, it fetched more data, and now 150 will be the top row, and so on. So we can sort of scroll both directions with pagination. And I think we're just, in general, have a much more responsive table view, in addition to all the other things that we've added to table view that Casey just demonstrated. So I think we're in much better shape, and this can start handling larger data sets without the performance lag that we were seeing before.
That's fantastic.
Yay!
Nice. Okay, and then last but not least, we have one more thing to demo. Despite the fact that a lot of what we just went through is homework. And so the last thing we want to do is I'm going to share my screen. Last time we've had, so hopefully you can see all this. We've had kind of like we've been a bit in two worlds. Any very command line users have been able to use these things called transform scripts that are written in a language called Starlar that let you sort of script between commits. And what we're demoing this week is we've actually sort of incorporated those into support for transform scripts into desktop. And so I'm going to show you an example of that. This is now what Query Desktop looks like. The important thing here is we have this early support for a transform component, which has been kind of nice. Unlike other components, if you are looking at a data set that doesn't have a transform, it won't show up. This one actually does have it. If I were to do, I think it's not something in the screen. Yes, that's what happened. So yeah. Yes. You actually see what they look like in a different period of time. Which is really nice. And so now just on desktop, if we go to see a data set that contains a transform, it will pick up on it and know that it's actually a file named transform.star. And if we show it in the Finder, this will actually show you the transform script code. If I edit this, it'll work like everything else in Query Desktop. So we now, and if I submit it, it will actually run the transform when it creates the commit. And so we've sort of brought together the two worlds. You can do transform stuff in desktop just as much as you can do transform script from the command line, which is a really nice sort of unification of what you could do in both places. If you want to learn more about transform scripts, there's a bunch of documentation on it and how it works. Go to query.io/docs, and you can look at any of the star pulls or the standard library, you can see how to do all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah. That's it. And so we also have agreed that we're going to be cutting a new release on Monday of all of this stuff. So if you're interested in any of this, it'll be coming out in a new release next week. I think that kind of covers it.
It's a lot.
Okay. Cool. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining, and looking forward to seeing you at 2 weeks.
Bye.